There's laws, right? So
And then there's
you
what?
can laws, LAWS. So you can make
Laws.
laws.
Oh my God.
Law- Hey. Can I do that now?
Sure.
I did it earlier. She's like, we haven't even started yet.
I know.
I was like, I'm trying to
save
get
the good
I'm trying to
stuff
get
for the
ready.
pod.
I'm actually, my stomach's grumbling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just, I'm like not exhausted. I mean, I'm tired, but I am like, like people are like hangry, like angry and hungry, and I'm like
I know what hangry
exhausted
is.
and hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which ends up being hangry anyway.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm a little delirious today.
Yeah.
I think you got less sleep than I did last night.
We're actually out of strawberries. Otherwise, I would have made myself a parfait this morning.
Anyway, you didn't even have lunch. I brought you lunch.
I do appreciate that. I was actually thinking about where I could go for lunch.
And was the answer nowhere?
Yeah, it was. I was actually thinking about getting a good salad.
Yeah.
Because Elaine's. I mean, I don't know if it's good, but it's definitely a salad.
The pizza
So-
joint does salads.
They have pizza too.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Pizza and cheese and everything like that.
Oh my
I really
gosh.
like to make a really good cauliflower crust. Like I've had some good cauliflower crust pizzas before.
Yeah.
I
I made one. I feel like it's, I will be honest, I'm not sure it's worth the effort. In
Did
my
you remember
opinion.
when we made the cheese taco shells?
Oh, yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were amazing.
But I don't know if I've ever made them just out of cheese.
What, did you put egg in it or something?
No,
I thought you just
no.
made out of cheese. Like you grilled the cheese and then flipped it, and then we put
There's
it
still
in
a
a little thing.
tortilla.
No,
Yeah, I just
think we
crust
did
cheese
it.
on a tortilla.
No, I think we did it without cheese. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure it out, stuff like that.
Maybe.
But I'm super excited because I don't know what it is. I feel like we got a little bit of cool weather here in Florida, and then we got a stay cool order because we had a hot day.
Oh, we did?
Well, we had like 3 steak
I didn't
orders, like
even
a
know
weekend
that.
or two, and so it was like really nice because it was like, holy cow, big people! We got orders and it's January, February, whatever. Actually, it's February. It's
I'm
this
like,
month.
what month? Do you even know the day? I don't know the day.
Here's what I know. I know that
struggling.
it's about to be March 1st, and the thing that I love and hate about February is that one, it's a leap year month, so when a leap year happens, it's kind of like magical. But I feel like
Oh, this
our
is a leap year?
no, this is not a leap year.
Oh, okay.
So we're only 28 days, which means that I just feel like we just paid rent and we're paying rent again.
Right.
Like to me, like it's
It
kind of
is
like
a short month.
It's like
it should be
oh,
like number of
rent's
days,
due.
not like
And-
months.
And when I say rent, I'm talking about for the company, right? So our lease is due, our building lease,
Yeah.
payment is due, and so I'm like, oh man, I feel like I just made.
I'm
this
sure it's
thing.
everything. It's like subscriptions and everything.
My brother just got a new boat, and
He did?
Well, you don't know this because he private messages me.
I'm like, I feel like I'm
And
finding so much
he
out
got
right
this
now.
new, beautiful champion boat. It's a couple, maybe a foot or two longer than this other one. Not black and gray. This one's got tans in it. It's like silver on the outside, and it's a
Okay.
beautiful boat and everything else. So,
When did he get
this
this
was last
boat?
night. Well, I saw the pictures last night. Maybe you picked
You
it up.
share nothing
He did
with me.
FaceTime me, and I missed it. So I'm thinking to myself
did have
that he was
friends over last
probably
night.
trying to communicate and say, "Hey, check this out." And it's done a couple things for me. One, it's got me all fixated about summer. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like all I can think about is summer. My family's coming down to come to our lake house for 4th of July. That's excited. We just got our jet ski out of not storage, but out of maintenance. And so those are all ready to go. Like,
Last summer, we shared all the stories. If you were listening then, we had jet ski and boat issues for months. And so
they're both fixed.
yes, this summer, it's like knock on wood. We've got all of our toys ready
We got
to play
toys.
with.
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
All I can think about this. You and I just booked our flights up to Tawas for July.
Yep, we go to Michigan in the summer,
So
and
we
this
booked
year's going to
2
be
weeks.
great. My sister's coming from Seattle, and we're hopefully going to take a little side trip to the wineries in Traverse City. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, we're doing like a little 3-day
Yeah,
excursion.
you wouldn't expect wineries in Michigan, but
I am surprised. Not that it's not that they're wineries, and so it's interesting because it's a winery, which means they have grapes there. They probably grow them, they smush them, and then there's laws, right? So
and then there's
you
what?
can laws, LAWS. So you can make
laws.
laws.
Oh my god.
Laws. There's laws. And what it is you can make wine
You've
and
never
call
been
it Michigan
so
wine
Southern.
if it's like
No, there's-
5%
of those grapes
in the wine or Michigan, and then 95% come from California. There's just no way you can make enough grapes and like seasons. Like it literally like snows like 9 months of the year, and there's like 3 months of amazingness in Michigan.
When we're there,
Up northern Michigan.
Yeah, but you'll see.
And we're not talking UP.
No, you'll see the wineries.
Because they only get like 1 month of summer.
You'll
in
be
UP,
impressed, I think, by how many grapes there really are.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of grapes to create a little bit of wine.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not.
I will tell you.
Sommelier.
I'm not sure.
What's a
sommelier?
No, that's someone who like does the tastings. What's just a wine grower? What's the dude called that like grows the grapes?
Farmer.
That was a pretty good one, actually. It might be the truth. I don't know.
No, I think you're talking about the person who actually does the fermenting and the mixing and the blends.
Yeah.
Is what you're looking for. Is the word
not
you're
a
looking
sommelier.
for. No. I think a sommelier is maybe they are. I thought a sommelier was the person that worked behind the bar.
Yeah.
That knew a lot about wine.
Yeah, maybe it's just their winemaker.
It could be there's a. It's not. It's like it's like a chef, but it's for wine.
They're my favorite kind of chef because I will say I love red wine. Know what their name is. And I just recently, having had a child, have been able to have a glass again, and it's wonderful. We had friends over last night, and we had red meat for dinner. So having a glass of wine was like just luxurious.
It was luxurious, but every time I see you drink a glass of wine, I actually think of the double cost of it now. Because we throw out milk, and it's like we pay for wine, and then we throw out milk.
I haven't drank, for 9 months being pregnant, and he's the one that's like, "Are you sure you want that? Are you sure you want to do that?"
Well, I've actually partaked in your wine a little bit here recently.
I've partaken.
I have partaken in the wine.
I feel like we're both a little too delirious today for this.
for the podcast. I actually feel great. I am extremely tired. Obviously, we've devoted not to talk about children on the podcast, but we are basically living a life of no sleep, mixed sleep, passing in the night.
It's been good though. It's good to be back in the office on podcast days, and I've been getting out
because here's the
walks,
reality: business isn't stopping.
No,
right? And you recently, I mean, it's amazing. Like since you've given birth, you personally have been getting hit up with great opportunities that you'd be like,
I know
where was this opportunity like a year ago?
People are like, I know you just had a baby like 4 weeks ago, but would you like to? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Would you like to take over this, or would you like to do this?
And
or
financially, we're like, that's maybe not a bad idea. But
yeah, we're like,
at the same time, I'm like, I can't even.
Where are we going to find the time?
I can barely shower
I'm already
right
recruiting
now.
you. Like I'm already like, hey, I need you to do some interviews.
Yeah.
Like we're interviewing.
No,
for a
I've
few
been on
positions.
calls. I've had a call like every day for something.
Yeah.
And
which is kind of getting back into that trend. And, we've talked about, what's most important to us. And for other people who have businesses is like, what's the most important thing to you, or what do you have to do?
Right.
Right. Because sometimes depending on what you do, you might not have options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and
for sure.
You and I talked about this very briefly, which was, you don't realize, like, let's say your company gives you 3 months, right? You do not realize how quick 3 months goes.
No, I was saying.
And you catch yourself. You're like, oh my gosh, like I have to go back to work in 2 weeks. What do we do?
And what do you do? And I said to him the other day, it's like for us, we're not looking to have like daycare from somebody else. So it's like 3 months, 4 months, doesn't matter because there's no solution. Like your child can't take care of itself. So it's like, okay, what is our long-term solution that works? You know,
need to swaddle it to your chest and wear big jackets. People are like, wow, you're gaining weight. Like, no, we're fine. It's like,
hopefully it doesn't cry. I know.
Speaking of that, we have a monitor in the other room.
We literally said we weren't going
to
to talk about babies and then went into a full-on baby
because
conversation.
Here's
the thing. Well, it's impossible to not because this podcast is
so impactful.
It's meant to be our lives, and literally we aren't doing much more than babying right now, so it's hard to talk about other things. But we were sitting
in our
there,
personal life. That's why I'm dreaming about the summertime.
Yes.
Like all this stuff that we're like going to do. Yeah.
And it's incorporating her, but it's very much so like travel and the lake and doing things that we would normally do. So it'll be good.
And we've had people coming to visit us and see the baby. I feel, it's not like Three Kings, obviously. I mean,
our daughter is not Three Kings is.
When the birth of Jesus, they brought gifts.
Three kings are
Good job. So what I'm saying is that people are visiting and they're
Thank
kind of like
you.
paying homage. Like they're like, oh, we want to see her. It's good to see her. Like it's this thing that I never really thought about us doing it because we go visit our friends and they've had babies. We're like, hey, we want to visit you. We want to
I've
bring you a
done that.
meal. We
I
want
bring
to,
a meal. Yes.
yeah. And I just come
He's
along for
like,
the
whatever,
ride.
I'll come. Yeah.
I'll come for
He's
the
like, oh,
ride.
we're going to go see the baby. I'm like, yeah, we got to meet a baby,
Yeah,
you know?
and it's just it's what it is.
But I will say, I enjoy cooking. So, you know, normally people bring meals, but I'm like, hey, come on over. I'll make dinner. And everyone who's come over is like, this is insane that you're doing this as a new mom. I was taking a stew out of the oven at like midnight the other night because it's always better the next day.
Oh yeah,
And I was taking it out and I was like, what's wrong with me?
And today I have the leftovers, which is like a meat gravy where like the meat's all falling apart.
It's all that's left.
And it's kind of inside. And it's like, I can't wait. She's like, she brought it when you just arrived and you're like, are you gonna throw it in the fridge? I'm like, no, I'm letting the baby get to room temperature.
I know.
When we get done with the cast,
when we get done with the cast.
when we get done with the cast, I'm digging in.
Getting in. You're hungry.
Yeah.
No, but speaking of opportunities that have come my way, it's interesting because there's a local company here, good friends with the owner, and they've reached out because they've been paying for HubSpot. It's a CRM system, and
it's inexpensive. It is an investment.
No, that's fine to call it expensive. It's certainly not the cheapest. And I mean, if you look at CRMs, I mean, it's definitely the leader. You know, you can use Salesforce, you can use Acton, you can use some of the smaller companies. Yeah, but HubSpot is one of the major leaders. There's Sugar CRM. There's all kinds of different ones. But HubSpot definitely, when it comes to sales and marketing, is top notch. They did have a support hub that came out a couple of years ago, and they're still working on it. So something like a Zendesk is still more tailored to that like support ticketing experience, but it just depends on what you're doing. You know, you might want it all in one place. A lot of it integrates. Like they are definitely agnostic in the sense that like they build it, you can use them, or you can plug in and use your other tools because they still want their tool to be valuable if you're stuck on something else, you know? But anyway, they were reaching out asking questions because I've worked with HubSpot for, over 8 years. And so I was like, oh, I'm more than happy to help. And so anyway, it's just been interesting because I'm trying to, when you have a CRM system or you have any tools that you can tailor for your needs, one, there's an expense there, and you make the decision to have that expense with the expectation of how will this help the business in the long run? Like, what's the return on investment here, and what am I going to get back from it? And I think they're to that point now. I initially thought like they were eager to see a return on investment just because it is an expense and that they started it, you know, in the beginning of the year. But I found out yesterday that they've actually had this tool since like July of last year, and they haven't really done much with it. And so now it's like a point of conversation to say like, hey, we're paying for this. We need to start seeing results. And really it hasn't been used. So I'm like, oh, okay. This makes more sense now. They're not, you know, chomping at the bit. They are, but for good reason, right?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because one, they're like, hey, there's a reason why they're using this.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, we need clients.
Yes, there was a goal there, you know, from a sales side, especially to say like, hey, I want to understand like, what are our salespeople doing? One, you know, do we have a platform or an ability to hold people accountable, you know?
To follow up with
them. Like I can sit there and say, what are you doing? And they can tell me what they're doing. But if there's no proof or documentation or system that's showing that. And then two, like what is in the pipeline and starting to understand what amount of leads do we need based on our historical percentage of close to get the revenue numbers that we've anticipated this month. You know, otherwise it's a shot in the dark. And it's all a very relevant conversation for us right now because we are looking at getting some sales individuals onboarded in the company as well.
Well, we just had actually an accepted offer this week.
Woohoo!
So we've been looking for someone to come in and head up software sales and kind of dedicate it to full time. We're at the point where we believe that we can support that. And so we've been searching. We've interviewed a dozen people in various stages. We've had a couple of people come in, and then we decided on one. Yeah. You know, one of the things that we do is, you know, people, it's interesting, like the whole interviewing piece. One, I think I mentioned this last week, how much I despise Indeed. But, you know, one of the things that we do, did we talk about the Clifton Strengths test last week at all?
I don't No, actually. We've talked about it in the past, but not in association with the interview process. And you and I have had the conversation personally where it's $25 to get, top 5 strengths. And there's all kinds of different personality tests, professional tests. There's predictive index, there's insights, there's all kinds, there's the introvert versus extrovert. What is it? The ENTJ, or I can't remember what exactly it's called, but you get your like 4 letters or whatever. And, my personal favorite, just because I know it the best, I've worked with it the most. So it comes quickest to me. If I see results, I can align it with what I know,
in the position and everything else. Like,
right.
Is
Exactly.
this person going to be the right fit for the job? Right.
Yeah. And so we've been using that. And I said to you the other day, I was like, hey, it's, $25 a time. Do we really want to spend this money on every candidate that we're considering? Because a lot of times you spend the money and you don't hire the person, And you were like, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's worth the investment because it tells me so much before. Think about the amount of money it is to onboard somebody, or the amount of money it is to have them on your payroll for 3 months to just then discover that they don't work out. And companies oftentimes say, hire slow and fire fast. And I think people actually struggle to do both of those things. If you're
absolutely.
If you're in need of a position, oftentimes you fill it quickly, thinking that they're going to help, fill a gap. And because you're paying for somebody and you've dedicated time to onboarding, oftentimes you don't fire fast because you think, oh, we've already invested so much.
And they gave up something to come for
right.
you. So you're like, oh, I got to give them a chance.
Yeah, you want to give them a chance, and they've invested so much. And trust me, like, if someone's showcasing that there's potential there, of course. But sometimes there's red flags from the get-go and people hang on for way too long. Or it's an amazing employee that's been loyal in the past and just unplugs and is no longer, a dedicated employee to the company, and you use the past to justify the present, and it's just not worth it.
One of the positions, so we had a lot of, the sales position, I think, had a lot more qualified people, which was, hey, I'm in some versions of sales.
Right.
I'd like to do these sales for you. And I was trying to weed through all that. We had another position for CAM, which is Community Association Manager. And it has been pulling teeth, to try to get a quality person.
And we've talked about the type of people and the verbiage and whatever.
I'm not. What's interesting is that this position, we're going to be hiring like again and again and again and again and again. So like, it is just one of those things where I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to get this. We got to get this.
Got to get it right. Yeah.
We got to get it right.
Yeah.
We got to figure this out.
No, for sure. But speaking of like CRMs and tools and sales and everything like that, one, it's hard. Like, in these conversations I've been having, I think one of the most difficult things when you have a new tool is, one, learning how to use it and making sure that you understand what the tool is capable of, and based on those capabilities, what you should be prioritizing to roll out to your team. But the hardest part is adoption from the team members that you're paying, for seats to use the tool. And it's like, it does not matter what company you work for. I mean, sales habitually is a personality that likes to be out in the field, that likes to kind of manage their own day, manage their own contacts in their own way. And a lot of times it's old and antiquated. It's, on their phone, it's contacts, notes on their phone. They don't want to use a CRM, even though a lot of these CRMs have mobile apps these days that you can utilize. I mean, it's incredible. If you are on the road, these CRM systems have like Google Maps integrated where you can set up a road map, your mileage for the day. You can submit an expense report from it. Like, it is.
That's pretty amazing.
Oh, these CRM systems have thought of everything. But to get a sales rep to actually like plug in, sit down, use it, and recognize the value that it brings to them is near impossible.
We actually just shared this at ProdX for our event. We actually talked about the cost. I put our cost of subscriptions because, like, when we're like, hey, this is what we paid for last year. I kind of like, it's kind of like, when people have like, oh, back in 1950, a thing of bread cost this. So like for us,
well, we talked about that with eggs, and we talked about the subscription costs. Yes.
Yeah.
And we were saying, our subscription cost per person has gone up, which is what brought us to the end of our conversation last week. And we said we'd touch on it, is just leveraging AI. And we talked to an AI expert, Rich, who's amazing. And he was saying he foresees that the future is less subscription based per seat, because if you're leveraging AI, he just sees the way that AI impacts CRM systems or tools in general changing a little bit,
Well, and that's amazing. Like typically the way a CRM system works is like, it's a lot of data and CRUD screens, and you set up sequences, and it's kind of like, hey, talk to this person.
You got real techie real quick.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you talk to this person, here's a note, here's this or that. But if you can imagine this, and you can take all that programming and all that data, and you can reduce it down to just having a conversation with your assistant and being like, hey, you could literally ask it, who should I talk to today? And it's going in there and going, hey, you should talk to Joe and Jerry and Susan and Mike and do it in this order. And here's their information.
Yeah.
Then you call them and you'd be like, hey, by the way, I talked to Susan and we talked about this.
There's AI agents that answer the phone for you. There's AI agents that take appointments for you.
And the thing is we're actually going to, it's a little sneak peek, but we're getting ready to relaunch our public products website in April. We're going to showcase it to the company tomorrow or next week. And then in April, we're launching it. And I've done away with all the forms. Yeah. It literally opens up an AI agent that's trained to talk about all the services that we offer and to then
utilize that.
And then at the end of the day, it'll serve up a calendar event to actually take the next step and have an appointment with us.
I mean, that's amazing.
So
it really is. And that's the thing. It's like, so to your point, the forms in general, they won't go away anytime soon, but we were talking too, it's like AI is growing and advancing so quickly that if you aren't already trying to use it, it could get so advanced in the next couple of years that if you're not on the bandwagon today, you might miss out altogether. And that's when you really will be taken out by any competition that's leveraging it for their business. Of course, like, are there accuracy issues? Oh, yes, but you need to be aware of those things and work around them, and have plans for them. It doesn't replace humans, but it certainly supports the work that you're doing. But it's interesting to talk about like user seats because yes, are you going to pay to use a software? You are. There's going to be a price associated with it. There's going to be a price associated with leveraging AI because it won't always be, free to access all of that information. The more accurate it gets, it's databases that you're buying, or you become a database and other people can leverage it. Anyway, it's interesting because this company that I'm helping was talking about a couple of different solutions, and it was like this workaround creating a form for internal employees. And I said, I'm really confused. Why wouldn't the employee go into the CRM and put that information in themselves? Why are you having an internal employee fill out a form? And they were like, oh, well, our company doesn't want to buy seats for those people.
Right.
And I was like,
because they're not going to use it.
Right. Not that often. Right. And so it's like, hey, we just want this information to be input, but we don't want to pay for a seat for this person because it doesn't make sense for them to be in the system. So
basically what you're saying is short the stock of some of these CRM companies.
Yeah, sure.
I think at the end of the day, because it's, it's people are going to stop paying for seats.
I'm not a risk taker. That's not what I'm saying. You did not hear it.
That either.
You did not hear it here.
Yeah. But yeah, there seems to be in the world right now, like in this kind of like timestamp, we have a lot of politics. We have tariffs being placed on goods. We have things that are costs that are going up. There was just a report that came out that there was 20,000 more unemployment claims than expected for the month.
Really?
Yeah. And so that they're expecting unemployment to go up because one, a lot of government jobs are being nixed, right?
But why?
Because DOGE, the Department of Efficiency, right, is going in and cleaning up government departments and letting go of upwards of 50% of the workforce.
People that are doing manual labor that doesn't.
I read an article, and I'm gonna do a little bit of backstory and just say how genius this is, right? And so there was a theory that government employees did not actually exist. And so Elon Musk, through Doge, basically put out this thing and said, at the end of the week, please summarize all the things that you've completed this week. And he sent that email out, right? To the government employees.
All government
Groups
employees.
of government employees, like this entire department. So it goes out to 20,000 people. Okay. And now you get, we'll say 15,000 back, right?
And he threw
now
it
you have
into
5,000 people, right? And they're like, let's see if these people exist. And they're going in and they're seeing that there are actual positions of fictional people getting paid who do not exist in government jobs.
What are you talking about?
I know.
No, I don't. I guess I can't even wrap my head around it.
So
I cannot understand.
Okay, so in this department, there is Jane Smith.
Okay.
And Jane Smith is making $80,000 a year as a government employee, and
Listed.
she processes paperwork.
It's like
she's listed. She's getting a check. She's getting a check. She's getting a check. Okay. Now, Jane Smith got an email that said, please summarize the 5 things that you do this week.
She never wrote back.
No, Jane Smith didn't write back. So then they go look in and say, hey, is Jane Smith a real person?
Okay.
And they're finding fictional people that do not exist.
But is there a real, but is payroll going out to them?
To a real person who's like, we don't know. We don't know the answers to all these things yet.
I don't know. This sounds really fucked up.
It is. It is just this huge, massive sweep of just fraud across all kinds of things. And that's their whole goal right now, is just to uncover these things. And we don't want to get political.
I was going to say, this is way over my head and probably a major controversy, and who the hell knows what all the facts are. I don't know them.
I don't know. But here, my point is this, is that unemployment is increasing. Okay.
Right.
And people are getting scared of the result of tariffs. So you have one side where you have Apple saying they're going to spend $500 billion in the United States over the next 10 years.
Okay.
$50 billion a year in infrastructure. Why? Because China is getting 10% increase in tariffs, which impacts their bottom line so big that they have to now switch and do that, which is the whole reason for tariffs, was like, hey, let's make American goods more competitive with overseas. I mean, that's how tariffs work, right?
Right.
And then of course,
right, but this is just not my cup of tea.
That's okay. That's okay. You got baby on the mind.
No, I'm very intrigued and interested. I cannot provide input. I'm not educated enough.
Well, for us and for what we're planning to do with our future is, like, when we see unemployment go up, all right, I see a lot of opportunity for us because we're selling franchises.
Right.
So this is people who are now in the potential to buy something that we have. Do you know who the #1 purchaser of franchises is?
Oh, no.
I shared this with someone the other day. It's actually the corporate worker who gets pushed out of upper management.
You know what? That makes sense.
They've got money. They've had it in the 401k.
Yeah.
They sit there. They've risen up. They're VPs.
And they got shit on.
And they don't
want to work for the man anymore.
And they're tired of working for the man.
And they're like, by the way.
They did everything else.
Yeah,
and they're like, I want to work for myself.
Yeah.
And so they go in the beginning, they kind of go through
totally
this quasi-retirement mode where they're like, I don't know what I want to do. I need to do something.
Am I there right now? Am I going to buy a franchise? Are you just saying my story?
Yes, we are there. We are there.
Well, you already forget the franchise. You started the business.
I started them, so that's kind of our whole business and stuff. But
no, that's not surprising at all.
Yeah. And so I look at it as opportunity. And of course, why are we hiring another salesperson? I am like extremely focused on sales for this year. So you're the peacock.
Yeah, you've been taking a course.
I have been in a course for the last 2 days, and I'm
just
skipped
to get
out for
insight.
the podcast.
Yeah, but it's part of it is just to see like what are other people doing.
Well, it's knowledge.
Success. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. By the way, I think I saw one of our clients' names in the course pop up.
No way.
I did.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Their camera wasn't on, but it was showing like this person joined, but this person's name is so unique that I was like,
interesting. Yeah, that is.
And their product makes perfect sense why they would be in the course.
Oh,
so I was, anyways, I have learned some great things.
But that's also good because we want our clients to be strategizing on how to sell and to grow their business. We want to be able to continue maintaining their software that supports a successful business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The best clients for us are existing softwares that are making money.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they keep us going.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
No, that's great. And you've always been so incredibly well read. And I think, these days it's like, and of course, there's still books and stuff like business books. Like, we leverage videos from the past that are from, people like Simon Sinek or who was the Disney founder? No,
Walt Disney.
No. Sorry, no, the CEO.
Walt?
What's that book about the guy who
Eisner?
Yes, Eisner. What's his name?
Bob?
Yes, Bob.
Bob Iger.
Iger.
Yeah, Bob Iger is the most recent one, which, by the way, he's returned to power.
What do you mean?
Well, he's basically the CEO again. They brought him back.
They brought him back?
Yes, because the person they
you guys, I feel like I'm living under a rock right now. This podcast is blowing my mind, and it's my own podcast. So I hope everybody's listening. This is all very informative information.
Yeah. If you would like to be informed of current events,
talk to Chris.
like my wife, you know.
I can
by the
tell
way,
you.
Here's the thing, right? Our life used to be me just sharing random things of information and you sharing your day. So like that. That was our life.
Now I'm like, well,
it's just
she
like,
had
goo goo gaga goo goo.
No.
And so the dissemination of information
literally every day. Our conversation is, how much did she spit it up? Did she sleep? Does she have gas?
It is.
Oh God.
Yeah. But that hasn't stopped me from reading and stuff. And
well, I was just going to say information.
This has happened months ago. Matter of fact, I watched another documentary on it about how, and I can't think of his name. That's how inconsequential he is. Got pushed out.
Oh shit.
It was Iger, and it's a lot of controversy because like Iger recommended him, groomed him for the job. Then he got the job, and then everyone was like, "We don't like this guy."
Yeah, I bet Iger didn't either. And you know what?
I think Bob just. I feel like if I'm ever the CEO of Disney, which one of my dreams is to be on the board at Disney.
Yeah, I mean, if you were an Imagineer.
Well, no, this is levels above me. I always wanted to be an Imagineer,
but you want to be on the board. Okay. Work. Anyway, Bob hired this guy.
Anyways, Bob hired the guy. But here's the thing: if you're the CEO of Disney, I mean, what a magical life! Like everyone
is it,
loves
though?
you. Yes.
Okay.
It is magical.
I don't know.
Is it hard work? Is it a lot of
Disney takes
stuff?
a lot of. I mean, think about the press. You're in multiple different countries.
Look, you smile. You're in multiple different countries. Have you seen the Disney jet, private jet?
No.
It's like a magic carpet.
No, but we should go to Disney Paris one day.
I have always wanted to visit all 6 parks.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how I get you out of the country.
Oh, 100%. If
this
you're like,
just
by the way, we're going to go to Disney Shanghai, I'd be like, I'm in.
I'm not sure Shanghai's top of my list, but
okay.
Yeah, actually, anyone that I know loves China, says it's amazing. It's a long flight.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting a lot of things in my feed on Italy, and
my
I'm in love with this idea of going to Italy. We had a chance to go to Italy, and then I kind of poo-pooed on you and was like, I just don't think it's right for us at this time.
Yeah. This year.
Yeah.
We were going to go with the 6
month. But then I had an idea. What if we had a helper?
Maybe he's changing his mind. Oh, to like bring an au pair?
Yes.
People do that all the time.
Maybe
I'm not saying we're not that rich. Maybe in the future,
No, I was just thinking maybe we just enslave someone. Like maybe we can. I'm not saying we bring him with. Maybe
by
we
the way,
hire
everyone,
them over there.
This man doesn't even want to leave the child alone for 20 minutes with anybody but me. But no, Italy looks amazing. We had plans to go to Greece for a very long time, but the Amalfi Coast, and I'm going to say it wrong, but like Pastiano and Lake Como, all those places look absolutely amazing. And my parents are very fortunate. They're going to take an amazing Italy trip this year. I have been to Italy, never on the coast. So, it's pretty magical.
I'm looking forward to going eventually.
Pretty magical.
I just think going to the lake this summer would be magical. Going to a couple resorts would be magical.
Anyway, we're
my
out of the
level
house
has gone way down in terms
is,
of
So this is like a sad story, but one of my girlfriends, she did get diagnosed with brain cancer years ago, and she's absolutely amazing. And when people come to visit her, she gets really excited. Like her life has changed drastically since the diagnosis, and she lives a good life, but she doesn't get to see people. She doesn't have the socialization of like going into an office any day anymore.
Right.
And so every time I've gone to visit her, she is like waiting outside. She's so excited. Like she's always like at the door or like right there when you show up. She like knows when you're going to be there because it's an event. And I literally have been waiting for our friends to come over for dinner and everything. And because I'm in the house all day, I am like at the window upstairs because I can see people like walking by. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just like my girlfriend. I'm like that excited for socialization because I'm on house arrest with this child. But I'm like, who's here? When are they getting here? And the other day was so funny because I was so eager to have people come over that I went downstairs. I told them the door was unlocked. Went downstairs, like waiting to be like there in person. Then I was like, no, you look crazy, Becky. Go upstairs, like, and just chill out and wait a second. And so I went upstairs and I was looking out the window and I was like, are they here? Are they here? and they like I didn't see him walking up. And so I finally go back to my phone and I have a text from them that says, hey, the front door is not unlocked. And then I have a missed call. So I go downstairs and I'm like, oh my God, how long have you been here? They must have literally walked to the door when I walked away. So the whole time.
And they didn't want to ring the doorbell because of the baby.
Right. And so the whole time, which they totally could have.
We're like, ring the doorbell.
I'm like, make noise.
The dog's going to bark.
And so the whole time I'm upstairs, like face planted on the window. These people are like at our front door.
So, yeah. And that's probably going to happen again. It's interesting because we've got friends and they've had babies and they put the thing that says, it's nap time. Don't ring the doorbell. And
look, and if you do, that's
we
fine.
need to put a sign that says like ring the doorbell because we're a couple floors up and
make noise.
Make noise.
Let us know.
So I think we should talk about one more thing and then call it a night because I have a call that I have to jump on.
Oh, you do? So, okay. Yeah, we're going to cut it short today. But no.
We're going to cut it short.
Well, I came into the office today.
Technically, we had some technical difficulties here. And
we did. We couldn't get the camera.
And no fault
working.
of anyone's, but just technology was not working.
Our friend. No, and Maria actually came to the rescue. Our camera wasn't showing up, showing the actual footage. But it was just saying like, hey, your Canon is plugged in. But it was like a black screen of death. So Maria did updates and restarts and everything. But nothing can go wrong for Maria today because she's in the best, happiest pants I've ever seen.
Yes.
She has amazing, like comfy bell bottoms on. And I was saying when we walked in here, I was like, oh my gosh, I love those. And she's like, I need to buy them in every color.
Should we have a bell bottom like throughout the year? Should we just have like a fun day that everyone can look forward to?
Bell bottoms are back.
And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe like in a certain month we say it's bell bottom day. Like people like, hey, wear blue day or, like just a company.
I mean, bell bottom day is hard because people don't own those. But we used to do like, hey, it's remember we did a themed week and it was like dress up like country themed.
That's what
we
I'm
did
saying.
like Florida tourist or something. Like you were like blocking my chair from moving. I didn't understand what was blocking me. But no, we did like tacky tourist day. We did
tacky tourist day.
Yeah, we had some fun.
It's almost
with
like what
themes.
you do in like high school.
Definitely.
What is that called? Like Spirit Week.
Yes.
Spirit Week. So we should have like a Spirit Day each month.
Maybe
we should take a poll.
Yeah, see if people want to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Maria has these amazing pants on, and I was saying how bell bottoms are back, and
I said they've never left.
You said, did they ever leave? And I was like, they absolutely did.
But I said that meaning like, did they ever leave? Because I'm a bell bottom guy.
And, well, are you?
Okay, I'm a corduroy guy. I love corduroys.
Oh my god!
And I think my corduroys had a little bit of a bell bottom on them.
It's possible. It's very possible. So, but I said yes, absolutely. They left skinny jeans. They came in hot and fast, and it was so unfortunate for me.
You love me and my skinny jeans.
What are you talking about? You don't have skinny jeans. We're talking about me.
I have skinny sweats, and I have those khakis that are like skinny jeans. And you're like, I really like it when you wear those. Because I have little small
I like your
legs.
sweatpants. I do like your sweatpants.
Yeah, because I got small calves.
Well, I do not. And that's why I was saying, thank goodness for bell bottoms coming back. Although I'm always like 4 years off the trend. So I'll buy a new pair of pants, in 20 years. I was actually just talking about this the other day.
You and every other female are on the Lululemon trend that never seems to die.
No, it won't die. I don't care. I'm going to be in leggings till the day I die. But this is an interesting topic. So the other day, I was saying to my friend and my mom, I was like, I have socks at home. We're talking about like buying pants and stuff. Like, I don't think I'll buy a new pair of pants, even though I know the trend is changing. I just don't buy things for myself very often. Some people are really into fashion, but I have like holes in the bottom of my socks. And I was talking to my sister and my mom, and I was like, I know.
They're church socks.
Yeah, exactly. They're holy. But I mean, not all my socks have holes in them, but some of them do. And I said, it's amazing. I am buying things for this child every day. You buy things from Amazon every single day. Like, we get things delivered to the house. And I'm like, even though every day I put on a pair of socks and I'm like, oh, there's holes in this one. Never once do I add them to my cart.
I buy new socks every year.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I never buy socks. And even though I'm having
socks and underwear, I think my socks are so clean.
I've
my
had
underwear
this,
clean.
I've had this conversation with my mom, my sister, and now you, and I've still yet to purchase socks.
You're getting socks. All right,
is
I
that
gotta
my
go.
Birthday present?
Yeah. Socks.
Oh my god! No, we can't go yet. We got to talk. Well, so because my parents, because I want to talk. Okay, I don't have people to talk to. Please,
Please
don't end the
please
podcast.
stay on the podcast. I can't.
Just talk to me. No, I'm going to make this one
No,
comment.
next time.
No.
Yeah, let's save it. I'll put it on
Okay.
the list when I get in.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's sad. Don't worry, parentals. We're talking about you next
The
week.
podcast is over. Okay. Thanks
Thanks
for
for
joining
hanging out with us.
I appreciate
And
it.
we'll see you